Hello and welcome. I'm Habib Mohammed. You are watching Ethiopian News Agency. I'm accompanied by the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Armenia, Vahan Kostanyan, and do stay with us until the end of our program. The Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Armenia, Vahan Kostanyan, a warm welcome to Ethiopia and Ethiopian News Agency as well. I may ask as a first question, is this your first trip to Ethiopia?
It is my first trip. It's already the third day that I'm spending in the lovely city of Addis Ababa, and I am very happy and amazed to see the developments and a big construction which is happening in the city. And besides the constructions, first of all, I guess the lovely people of Ethiopia, which are very hospitable, creating the atmosphere to feel home.
Let's start from historical questions as usual, because Armenians have had a long-standing presence in Ethiopia, especially during the imperial era. How do you view the legacy of the Armenian community here in Ethiopia, especially here in the capital, Addis Ababa as well, until today?
Actually, the relations between Armenian people and Ethiopian people goes much back to 3rd, 4th century. But nowadays, when we are walking in the city and talking to different interlocutors, the legacy of Armenian people is quite present in Addis Ababa. And Armenians of different professions, jewelers, musicians, traders, I do believe they supported the development of Ethiopia back to a time, and their legacy still exists. And nowadays, when we already have the independent state of Armenia, and we already have 32 years of diplomatic relations between Armenia and Ethiopia, I do believe that there is a unique chance to build on the historical friendship of our two nations and of our two peoples, and to strengthen bilateral interstate ties.
Your Excellency, as you've mentioned, Armenia and Ethiopia shared these deep-rooted cultural and religious connections. How do these shared values influence current diplomatic and people-to-people relations between both countries?
Nowadays, also in diplomacy, being a like-minded partner and having like-minded partners, it's very important. And the political consultations and the discussions that I had with the senior officials of Ethiopia last 2 days show that there is a great potential for our interstate relations to be strengthened in different areas, be it political, be it economic, be it on education, high-tech, etc. So there is a lot that we can offer to each other, and we'll be working on this direction.
What are the priority areas for Armenia in terms of strengthening bilateral cooperations with Ethiopia in the coming years, maybe?
Some of the areas I already mentioned. It's education, it's high-tech, it's healthcare. These are the areas that Armenia is championing, and will be very happy to share Armenian experience with the Ethiopian brothers and sisters. We have quite good record also in digitalization, on e-governance, that we already exchanged some views to organize some exchange with the Ethiopian counterparts. I would also like to mention that just recently, if I'm not mistaken, 2 weeks ago, another quite high-level delegation led by our Deputy Minister of Culture and Science and Education was in Addis Ababa with the representatives of different cultural and educational institutes. Some memorandums of understandings were signed during this trip, which already framed the potential cooperation between our cultural and educational institutions and Ethiopian cultural and educational institutions.
Your visit to Ethiopia is, of course, a significant diplomatic gesture. Ethio-Armenian first political consultation also held in Addis Ababa. Could you please elaborate a little bit how learn more about political consultations on that?
Well, thank you for the question. Indeed, as you mentioned, these were irregular political consultations between our two ministries of foreign affairs. And I do hope that we will keep a good dynamics having political consultations at least once a year. But besides the format of political consultations, we also exchange views on having intergovernmental commission, which will have more holistic look to the cooperation in different areas. Of course, during the consultations, we touched upon regional issues, be it in the South Caucasus, be it in Horn of Africa, but wider Africa as well. We re-emphasize the need of multilateralism nowadays. I also shared with my distinguished and dear colleague that Armenia will be hosting Biodiversity COP17 next year, and will be very glad and honored to have high-level delegation coming to visiting Yerevan from Ethiopia.
Is there any kind of existing or upcoming memorandum of understandings between the two governments, like sectors you've mentioned, like information technology is something that Yerevan really advancing on, agriculture, trade. So maybe you've discussed on this expected outcomes that will go and elevate the relation between those countries. Of
course, we discussed cooperation and MOUs in different dimensions and directions, but I don't want to go forward. Hopefully we'll have time to celebrate the signing of these documents next time when we meet, be it in Addis Ababa or in Yerevan.
Both Armenia and Ethiopia are also active members of international organizations like the United Nations, the African Union. So how both countries can collaborate in the international arena through these international organizations?
No, there are some specifics which are common for our two countries. One of them is that both Ethiopia and Armenia are landlocked developing countries. Exactly. And promoting the LLDC agenda is on our list of cooperation. There are different areas where same LLDC group of countries can work and act together, be it financing for development agenda, which is nowadays very big priority in UN and in multilateral arena, social summit, many others. So we have a very good potential to cooperate, but not only in the future, I also want to tell it for the record that we already had quite good cooperation when it came to multilateral fora.
And finally, sir, what are your hopes and expectations for future Armenia-Ethiopia relations, maybe in the couple of years to come or something?
I'm looking to these relations very positively. What is very important in any bilateral relations, the constant work to deepen and to strengthen these ties. On Armenian side, I can assure that Armenia rests committed to these relations, and the talks that I had during previous days showed and gave me confidence to think that it's reciprocal from Ethiopian side as well. So I do believe that we have much to come in future.
Thank you so much, Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Armenia, Vahan Kostanyan. Thank you so much for your time with Ethiopian News Agency.
Thank you.
Well, dear viewers, thank you so much for joining us. That's the end of our program. Thank you so much for joining.